is Catholic Treasure on Tuesdays. But guess what? We're going to do a Catholic Treasure today because every day is a special day at Catholic TV, but this being Good Friday, we decided to do a Catholic Treasure. What is the riddle today, Father?
Well, before I tell you the riddle, I got to say that we're going to give a hint.
Oh.
The hint is it's Good Friday, and that's all I'm going to say. That's my hint.
It's a pretty good hint.
All right, here's today's riddle. Watch it on the screen, listen, see if you can figure out what's in the treasure box today. The steps were trod on holy ground to win the prize of life. A sad day passed to keep in mind these moments of his strife. The steps were trod on holy ground to win the prize of life. A sad day passed to keep in mind these moments of his strife. And of course, the hint is, it's Good Friday. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I know you're in a good mood because when you give a hint, that tells me you're in a good mood.
You know what put me in such a good mood today?
That I'm on the show?
No, I bumped into Kevin.
Oh, of course, it's Kevin.
It was really, it just pepped me right up.
You notice Kevin came in with coffee again, not for anyone else but himself. By the way, I didn't think you were supposed to have, well, I can't say that because we have our liquid here, but I didn't think you were supposed to have liquid in the studio. Charles will have to get...
Holy ground to win the prize of life. A sad day passed to keep in mind these moments of his strife. Today's Catholic Treasure is, of course, very appropriate for Good Friday. Do you know what it is?
Jay, why'd you say? Yeah.
The Stations of the Cross.
Absolutely right. The Stations of the Cross, most appropriately today's Catholic Treasure. The Stations of the Cross, which remind us of Jesus' final hours. This day, they show us the way of his suffering, his death and burial on that first Good Friday. In Latin, we call this popular devotion Via Crucis, or the way of the cross. From the earliest of days in the church, followers of Jesus told the story of his suffering and death and resurrection. When people came to visit Jerusalem, they wanted to see the very places where Jesus walked. This was a way for people to make a connection with the gospel stories. And eventually, walking the way of Jesus' suffering became a very important part of a visit or pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Now, the stations, as we know them today, came about when it was no longer easy or even possible to visit the actual holy sites. In the 1500s, villages all over Europe started creating replicas of the Way of the Cross, just like you would find in Jerusalem. So over time, these shrines became the set of 14 stations that we know today. You can find the Stations of the Cross, of course, in almost every Catholic church in the world. And there you have it, today's Catholic Treasure, most appropriately, the Stations of the Cross. This is the 14th station.
That's the 14th that are in our, that's right from our chapel.
Yep.
That is right from our chapel. I've been to Israel. I know you've been to Israel. Can you explain when you walk along where Jesus walked that path? Because it was much different than I anticipated. I thought it would be very big, and yet it isn't. What was it like?
Well, you know, the different stations that you go to in Jerusalem are, you know, as close as we know historically to where these events occurred, and the stations end up in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is always a shock to people, I think, when they first go in, because it's a kind of dark and little dismal and very cramped, because many different groups of Christians worship in that place. But the final station is the Crucifixion, and of course then the Holy Sepulchre, where Jesus rose from the dead. The remainder of his tomb are contained there. So it's very fascinating and as you say, different than you would expect.
And Kevin, I know you have a young daughter and a young son. What do you do during this Holy Week to get them really associated with the church? Is there anything special you do?
Well, you know, we're involved in the Triduum at our parish and stuff, so Emily came with us last night, and she had her feet washed as well. So
did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So just to go to the services and participate and sort of tell them what's going on.
Want to hear a great story, by the way? On Sunday morning, Kevin will remember this, the Mass was all over Palm Sunday, and one of the guys that works in the newsroom, and this is at the NBC affiliate in Boston, came in and was looking for some palm to bring home, and we didn't have any. And there was only one piece left, and Emily had it in her hand, and what did she do?
She gave it to him.
But that was nice,
yeah,
you know, I mean, for a kid like that to...
Well, she got $20.
Oh, he slipped her 20?
That was the other part of the story.
I didn't see that part.
That you didn't, that you didn't know.
Yeah.
No, that is a great thing, though, to